All right, Joker is here. It's out. Maybe you've seen it. Hopefully you've seen it. If you haven't seen it, hopefully you see it this weekend. If you're not going to, you should. Don't stay home because of the fear-mongering bullshit on Twitter. Anyhow, this is my Joker spoiler talk. If you haven't seen Joker yet, you probably shouldn't watch this. Usually I'm like, hey, come on in, stay if you don't care about spoilers, but benefit of the doubt, you should leave now, because you should watch Joker. But that's a spoiler warning. Spoiler warning's done. Let's talk about Joker and Joaquin Phoenix. Okay, well, I guess the way I say Joaquin Phoenix is one of two ways. I either roll it and breathe the Joaquin Phoenix, or I say Joaquin Phoenix, in which case people hear Walking Phoenix, which sounds like a zombie show that's gonna go on for about 5 seasons too long. Either way, or any case, it's either an accent or I just pronounce it incorrectly, but it's not going to change. And also, this video is not going to be a play-by-play, scene-by-scene, scene-for-scene, although I'll probably take more time in going through the scenes than I usually do, but you know, Joker. But I'm going to talk about the spoilerish things I couldn't talk about in my spoiler-free review, and I can talk about them now. And anyhow, here we go. How fucking good is Joaquin Phoenix in this movie? Seriously. Like, right when the movie starts out is when he's like grinning in the mirror, making the smile with the tears going down, running his makeup, and he's just like, has this sad look on his face. From there to when he's talking to his therapist and he hands the therapist a journal. I mean, he doesn't just hand it to her. You can tell he's like, these are my personal thoughts, I don't want to hand it to you. But he hands her the journal, and when she opens it up, you see notes, but you also see pictures of flayed bodies. It reminded me of American Psycho. I was like, that is an American Psycho kind of moment. Also, when American Psycho came out, did you see the spike of serial killers in America? No fucking exactly. But you can tell this guy's, he's not okay, he's in pain. And what I liked about this movie is as it goes on, you start, like I said, peeling away the layers, like as if he's an ogre. There's intrigue, there's revelation, you just keep going, you're like, oh, he did have a fucked up childhood too. Because at first it feels like, all right, he's dealing with some stuff, but his relationship with his mom is, he's nice to his mom, almost too nice, because, you know, he's bathing her. I don't know the relationship. That seems a bit too close for me, but maybe they couldn't afford a caretaker and she needed one. Or she might be one of those moms that's like, I don't need a caretaker, but I want him as my caretaker, which is really manipulative, which it does show that she is manipulative. That's what I took it as, so that's one of the things that shows that. Gonna jump tracks for a second. We gotta talk about his laugh, because his laugh, like, he has that condition where he uncontrollably laughs, and YouTube was like, hey, suggested video, this guy who has that condition. It was uploaded like 4 years ago. I guess no one cared then, they'll care now. And YouTube cares to bring that to me because, you know, Joker. So I was watching this and it's just like the movie. This dude's like laughing, but he doesn't want to laugh and it kind of hurts his throat. I never saw Joker's laugh as this chronic condition that causes him pain. It's the first time I've ever seen that, and I'm actually baffled no one's ever done that before, unless there's a comic book out there that does illustrate that, but I just haven't seen it. Point is, one of his clown colleagues gives him a gun, and at first he just shoots it through the wall. He doesn't know really how to handle a gun, but he has his gun, and then those subway assholes come at him, and he shoots them, and I feel like this is the moment when some people who didn't like the movie shut off from the movie. They're like, oh, don't like it anymore, and I'll tell you exactly why. If you're one of those people, stop me if I'm wrong on this one. You saw that moment where Joker unloaded on those subway dipshits, and you didn't squeak a tear for those guys. In fact, you liked it when he killed them, because those guys were dicks. And it made you feel weird. I saw Joker kill these people, and I liked it, because fuck them. They're shitheads. This is what you felt, right? Yeah. You're supposed to. The movie set you up to feel like that. After he has his freak out moment, you can tell that's the most control he's ever felt in his life. Like, he's never felt that powerful. But then there's intrigue, like his mom's always writing Thomas Wayne, like, oh, because we're like family. And Thomas Wayne's like, all my employees are like family. And you're like, oh, she's kind of taking that a bit too far. And then you read the note and it's like, oh God, Arthur Fleck is his kid? I was like, wait, Bruce Wayne's his half brother? Oh. But turns out, yeah, she's nuts. And that was probably really frustrating for Thomas Wayne. It's like, yeah, this mentally unstable, insane stalker lady who used to work at my company, she's been stalking me for years. That probably was not comfortable for him. I understand his frustration. I understand his frustration. I understand Arthur Fleck's pain. That's one of the great things about this movie. It's like, oh, I understand him. Oh God, I understand him. Oh, this movie's brilliant. So it turns out the Bruce Wayne being his half brother thing, that wasn't real though. When he goes to Bruce Wayne and like puts his fingers in his mouth and makes him smile, and Alfred comes out and is like, get out. It's like, yeah, if I saw some weird guy putting his fingers in my kid's mouth and making a smile, I don't even have kids, but, or even if I was a butler, I'd be like, ugh, that's gross. And you're a smoker? But now does his mouth taste like cigarettes? Dude! I like the scene where he's in the comedy club, Zazie Beetz is there supporting him, But he's there, and he's kind of choking on stage, literally and figuratively, because he can't stop laughing. But when he's taking notes before he gets on stage, before he actually makes his move, he's taking notes, and he's laughing on the offbeats. You know, like the audience laughs, then a couple beats later, he laughs. It's like he's not in sync with the audience. I like that. I like the moment. Then he gets on stage and you don't see how he does. And then, yeah, Robert De Niro, Murray, on the Murray Show. He's like, oh, check this guy out. And we already saw it in the trailer. I do think the trailer showed a bit more. It showed a couple scenes that I think they should have saved for the movie. But yeah, it just shows him bombing out and Murray's talking shit. The other scene that the trailer showed that I don't think they should have showed was when he says, can you introduce me as Joker? Like, that's a huge moment for the movie. Shouldn't have shown that in the trailer. I will say the relationship with Zazie Beetz, that was the weak part of the movie. When I'm watching it, I'm like, okay, if I have a critique in my review, which I didn't have in my review because I'm saving it for here because there's a reason, I was like, she's the weak part of the movie, or at least that relationship's the weak part of the movie. She was fine for what she had, but I was like, all right, this relationship kind of feels like either an afterthought or something in the background. It's not really grabbing me. There's a reason though, because it has its sixth sense moment. You see these moments of him and her and he's all happy. Then at a point, he's in her apartment. She's like, your name's Arthur, right? What are you doing in my apartment? Can you please leave? I was like, oh, we're in a beautiful mind. Like, it never happened. Oh shit. Which is actually great that they used her sparingly, because if there were too many scenes where it was just him and her and people didn't interact with her, people might have caught on, because a few movies have done that at this point. But it was sparingly enough to where I was genuinely shocked. I didn't see that coming. And then he leaves. Implications, did he kill her? You hear sirens, and I don't know if it was for the apartment that he was in. He might have. I actually like this a little, like, maybe he did, maybe he didn't. You don't really know. He does kill his mom, though. He gives his mom, like, the R.P. McMurphy. He gives her, you know, the chief to R.P. McMurphy in Cuckoo's Nest. Just takes a pillow. That's when he was like, I used to think my life was a tragedy. It turns out it's a fucking comedy. And he just smothers her. Which these two cops have been questioning him the entire movie, which I also like, because you can tell these guys are like, this guy's totally... he did it. And after his mom dies, there's no, like, they're like, he absolutely did it. And then Arthur somehow gets a phone call from the talk show, the one where De Niro was talking shit about him. They're like, yeah, we totally want you to come on the show. And he's like, cool. And then his rehearsal in his living room is so good when he has the show on and he has a recording and he's playing it. And he has the little drapes and the couch and the chair. And he comes out and he's trying to, like, all right, he's trying to get it perfect. He's trying to emulate how a confident person would come out on that show. And then he's like miming shooting himself, and you're like, oh, okay. That's how it's gonna go down. And that's when I was like, oh, all right, so he's gonna die. So this isn't really a Joker story. It's a Joker-ish story about a guy who's not really the Joker. Or it's a Joker story about the Joker, but hey, the Joker only lived this long, and this is kind of a realistic representation of the Joker. But right there, I was like, all right, he's gonna die. Maybe. But after he kills his mom, before he goes on the Murray Show, he paints his face white. It's really creepy looking. Like even in the trailer, I was like, that's unsettling. More unsettling than the clown makeup. But the guy that colleague that sold him the gun and the little dude, they all come over to his place. They're like, what's with the makeup? He's like, my mom died. Celebrating. And then he stabs the big guy with the scissors. And all right, this scene is it's one of my favorite Joker moments in a movie. Like when I say Joker moments, I mean the moments that embody the Joker. Like, that is the Joker moment. Because he stabs the big guy with the scissors. He's covered in blood. That guy's dead. The little dude's over there freaking out. And he's like, I'm dead too. And then Arthur, or Joker, whatever you want to call him at this point, he's like, you've always been good to me. You can go. And the dude runs past him, but the door's locked and the latch is up there and it's out of his reach. He just can't reach it. And so you're like, did he latch that on purpose and tell him he could go just so he can kill him when he can't reach the latch? Or is he genuinely gonna let him go? You don't know. I don't know if that dude's gonna die right now. I don't know if Arthur Fleck is gonna kill himself or not on the Murray Show. I don't know. And that's what I love about it. I love the fact that this movie put me in situations where it's like, I don't know if these people are going to live and die by the end of the movie. And that moment right there was such a cat and mouse moment, like in terms of Joker moments. If you look at how sinister the moment is, how playful the moment is, and how much anxiety the moment gives you, how unsure you are about how all of it's gonna go down, that is a great Joker moment. And sure enough, he unlatches the door, kisses the dude on the head, sends him on his way. Dude lives. And that's when you're like, okay, he let him live, which means he knows that he's gonna kill himself on the show. So now he's embraced the makeup after the cops are they're watching him dance, and he just is carrying himself with all the confidence in the world, gets into a chase with the cops, makes it to the Murray show, and that's when he's like, can you introduce me as Joker? They don't want him to go on because, you know, clowns are kind of raising a ruckus right now. And when he comes out, you know, like you see him behind the curtain and he raises his arm, and he has a cigarette, and he comes out, and, you know, he spins, he goes over to Dr. Ruth, and he kisses her on the lips. You know, I'm like, dude, he is the Joker. The way he carries himself, he completely sells that makeup as the Joker's makeup. He's a completely different person. He's embraced who he is, and he also embraces the fact that this is his last day alive. And really has nothing to lose, and if you look at the Joker, that's how he carries himself. He's a walking id. Nothing is keeping him in check. He's just living for today because tomorrow he dies. He's in the moment. That's how this Joker is carrying himself. Which I do believe up until that moment that it was zooming into him and he had the cigarette and he hears Murray still talking shit about him, like, oh, this guy has a lot of problems, I'll tell you that. I do believe he was gonna off himself on air. And at that point he's like, I'm gonna take this guy out with me. And then he just didn't kill himself. It was a little on the nose when he was like, what do you get when you have a loner and you ignore a loner in this society, or however he said it. He's like, you get what you fucking deserve. But I will say that hit, that bang, the one that everyone's afraid that people are going to emulate, that shot is so real, and it was so like, it instantly makes you feel dirty. It's just a sickening shot. It's a sickening moment. He just unloads on him again, goes over to the camera and starts talking into it. Also, a Joker moment, he would totally do that. Which the cops get him, so you assume he was just there talking in the camera. Cops arrest him. When he's in the cop car, you look around, it's just like there's riots happening, people in clown masks starting fires, tipping cars over, you know, basic riot shit. It's cops like, you see all this shit you caused? And he's like, yeah. Isn't it beautiful? Or however he phrased it. Like the last 20 minutes of this movie, the moment he puts on the makeup and kills that former colleague of his, from then to the end of the movie, he is the Joker. Arthur Fleck died with his mom. And then these clowns plow into that car and get him out, and his mouth is bleeding, and he makes the Joker smile, and he just kind of embraces like, I'm the Rat King. I'm the leader of all of these guys. All of these maniacs, the kind of mind the Joker attracts. In the words of the great Christian Bale Batman. Which, I won't lie, that's the hot toy I want, you know? Like, they have to come out with a hot toy of this, right? Clean Joker makeup, I was like, oh yeah, I'll totally get that. But the one where he's just kind of battered and bruised and he has the blood smile, that's a pretty sweet one. They should make that. The Waynes do get murdered. It goes past this theater and the Waynes are coming out of the theater as like all the riots of clowns are going down because the clowns have been inspired by Arthur Fleck or Joker killing those guys in the subway, though I wouldn't say Joker because he wasn't Joker when he did it. Point is, in the alley, these guys kill the Waynes, and I do feel like was that a reshoot? It feels like that was tacked on. Like the movie had this clean ending. They were like, we do want to see the Waynes get killed in this movie, and this is a good opportunity to do it. It was just some other clown who did it. But I do feel like it was a little like they had to nudge, like, hey, this is still a Batman movie, which I don't think they should lead this into the Batman universe. I like it as its own standalone movie. Rumor is Joaquin Phoenix was like, I don't want to do a franchise, so he's probably not going to do it. Dude's an artist, and I respect that. But you know, they were like, this is too good. Okay, we're gonna at least leave the option open. Like right now, they're probably thinking, how can we tie this in to it? And maybe we'll try to convince him later. But yeah, we'll see what happens. It is what it is. The Waynes get killed. But then he's in the mental hospital and he's talking to this other therapist, this person who's interviewing him, and he laughs and she goes, what is it? And he goes, I just thought of something funny or something like that, or I thought of a joke. And he thinks of Bruce Wayne standing over his dead parents. And she goes, what is it? And he goes, you wouldn't get it. There's one thing about people, especially that I've noticed on social media, is like when they have a thought, they really feel like they have to convince you of it, or if they find something funny, they have to illustrate to you why they think it's funny. It's in people's nature to try to convince you that, you know, to validate their own mind. But he just doesn't give a shit. He's like, you wouldn't get it. When he's walking out, you see he's leaving bloody footprints, which, one, symbolism, but two, yeah, he killed her too. Then he reaches the end of the hallway and you just see like doctors chasing him and he's just like running and he's laughing and it's a game to him. Also another Joker moment after killing somebody, just like, all right, now we have a Tom and Jerry moment. Tom and Jerry moment with the authorities. This movie has some great Joker moments in it. And in the end, I thought this was a great movie. I've done nothing but think about it after I saw it. And it's kind of messed up. It makes you feel gross because you do sympathize with the guy. You recognize what he does is wrong. At no point is the movie like, it's cool to be like him. But you don't want to be like him. You don't want his life. When he kills people, it's very raw, and you don't want any part of that. You're like, nope, no. The movie makes you question your own moral fiber, and I just love it when movies are messed up like that enough to make you question yourself. On a serious note, I've seen a lot of chatter online, like, a lot of, I'll say articles, blogs. I'll call them blogs because it's not really journalism. There's been a lot of talk about maybe the Joker movie might inspire a mass shooting. I have a lot of thoughts about that. Long story short, Joker might inspire mass shootings. That isn't the conversation. It shouldn't be anyway. That's just the conversation we've had since the 90s. Does violent entertainment inspire violence? It's redundant, repetitive, and lazy. But also, Joker looks like it has a lot of other conversations it wants to have, and it wants to start about society. A lot of themes that aren't getting talked about. Some themes in this movie that this movie's begging to have talked about is mental health. Take it seriously. Don't cut funding to it. Maybe we should recognize the warning signs and the cries for help. If someone's an oddball or they're being a little weird, maybe we shouldn't just, do the easy thing, which is talk shit. Don't be like the talk show host Murray in this movie. It's so easy to do that, especially with the internet, with that disconnect. It's like you don't see them as people. It's so easy to just get on your keyboard and talk shit, but they're people who deal with it. Cutting people down is just a sign of a weak mind. Not that I've never done that, but the goal is to better yourself. Also, the dangers of social divide. Like, this movie addresses social divide. That's huge. Why are we not talking about any of this? Anyhow, in the end, Joker, I loved it. It's haunting. It's uncomfortable. It's amazing. It's well acted. A lot of things I wanted in this Joker movie, I got in this Joker movie. And it's like, I've seen some complaints from people who say this movie's dangerous, and what did you think a Joker movie was gonna be? It's like, I want to be like, oh, this is your first Joker experience. Congratulations. Because of course it was going to be like this. Here's a thing that'll fuck your brain. Everybody who has loved the Joker since before this movie came out, we all knew exactly who the Joker was. We knew he was this kind of asshole, this kind of maniac. It's nothing new. I'm just glad a filmmaker, Todd Phillips, saw it and gave us something accurate for the Joker. Something Joker accurate. So thank you, Todd Phillips. In a minute, I will ask you what you thought about Joker, but first, sponsorship! And I want to thank the sponsor of this video. The sponsor of this video is Raycon. You might have seen these wireless Bluetooth headphones making their way around YouTube, whether it's sponsorships, people doing videos on them. I guess quite a few celebrities like Raycons, like Snoop likes Raycons, so he's the one I'm name dropping here. So they sent me a pair, tried them out, and yes, they're pretty sweet. They're stylish little headphones, no wires whatsoever, which my other pair of Bluetooth headphones had the wire. So you either put it behind you and it gets caught on your collar and it falls out of your ear, or you put the wire in front of you and it just dangles there like a shoelace. Not these Raycons though. These are completely wireless, sleek, stylish earbuds. They also come in a variety of fit options. I love the fact that you can choose your size because earbuds always fall out of my ears. These ones have yet to fall out of my ears, and that's while I'm working out, which I'm not going to show you footage of because it's kind of embarrassing. Maybe one day though. Today you get me bobbing my head and testing to see if they fall out of my, nope, they didn't fall out of my ears. Awesome. And as you may have heard by now, their latest model is their best one yet with 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass, and a more compact design that gives you a nice noise isolating fit. And they come in a variety of colors. And Raycon earbuds start at about half the price of most other premium earbuds on the market. That's what I do here. I save you some money. You want to save more money? Fine. You drive a hard bargain. I'll save you another 15%. Go to raycon.com/Jahns or click the link below to save yourself another 15%. Like how I did that? That's how I do sponsorship. So click the link, pick yourself up a pair, and thank you again to Raycon for sponsoring this video. Appreciate it. All right, so Joker, have you seen it? What did you think about it? I can say that now. Whatever you thought about Joker, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.